Are you like a lot of people right now and struggling financially? Maybe you're just tired of the rat race and ready to go another direction. Well, if you've ever heard that flipping real estate can change your life, you heard right. So what's keeping you from taking on your first house flip? Well, if we're all honest, it's probably fear. There's a lot of uncertainty in real estate, fluctuating market values, interest rates going up and down, the rising cost of materials, and the potential to get stuck with costly hidden repairs. What if you don't have enough money or credit? What if you can't sell and end up sitting on a nightmare property and losing money? Those uncertainties are 100% real, and if you don't know what you're doing, you should be afraid. But does that mean you give up? Not at all. If you're committed to taking control of your financial future, ready to step outside your comfort zone, understand and overcome your fears, and put in the hard work it takes to achieve success, you're in the right place. You're about to discover why your fears are valid, how to understand them so they don't cripple you, and how you can overcome fear to transform the quality of your life and get the results you've always wanted. I'm Brian Bush with Freedom Mentor, and for nearly 20 years, our organization has coached and mentored many of America's most successful real estate investors. We've been a part of thousands of house flips and helped countless investors conquer their fears and realize their potential with creative real estate. And we're going to share some of those insights and that wisdom with you today. If you have any questions through this video, text FREEDOM to 305-315-8030 or comment below. So let's start with what is fear? We all know it's a natural and very strong emotion that's caused by anticipation of danger. Fear alerts us to the threat of harm so that we can protect ourselves. But how does fear control us? Well, since we all want to avoid pain and gain pleasure, we seek out certainty. Certainty helps us play it safe to avoid the things we're afraid of. Certainty reduces fear so you can move forward. You have a certain confidence that your roof's not going to collapse and crush you right now, so you're not afraid of it. You have a certain confidence that if you keep showing up at the job you can't stand, you'll keep getting a paycheck. But you're probably less certain that if you just keep grinding away every day that things are going to get better. See, that's a challenge with certainty. It can reduce our fear, but it can imprison us to settle for far less than we're capable of. And the biggest problem is we know it. We know we're living below our potential. We know we're capable of so much more, but we're afraid to venture out into uncertainty. All this creates internal dissonance, which continues to build up, and it creates anxiety and stress, anger and regret. So the very certainty we want to reduce fear is at the same time holding us back. That's why we need a simultaneous measure of uncertainty to challenge us to grow and achieve more. To paraphrase Tony Robbins, the quality of your life is directly proportional to the amount of certainty and uncertainty you can comfortably live with. So if you're working to change your life, you're going to have to find the optimal balance between these to keep pushing forward while maintaining your sanity. And you'll find that balance as you gain more understanding of whatever it is you're afraid of. So when it comes to real estate and taking on your first flip, you're taking on a lot of new things, and fear is absolutely to be expected. If you're not a bit fearful going in, you're either heading for an expensive lesson, you've stumbled across the deal of the century, or you're one of our apprentices and you have the right training and guidance to know that you have a good deal, that you're in a good area, and that the numbers work. For the vast majority of new investors, their biggest fear is money. Now, perhaps you've been saving for a long time to be ready to invest in real estate. The obvious question is, how much should you have in reserve? Well, it depends on the property's value, how much repair is needed, and whether you're also utilizing lenders. If you have good credit, you want to leverage that to accomplish more with less of your own cash. But if you don't have good credit, you need a deal that will stand on its own so that lenders focus on the property and its upside instead of you. Money and lending are major components of house flipping, and they can certainly provoke fears. But we help our apprentices overcome that challenge every day. Check out How to Fund Your First House Flip to learn why money is not the problem and certainly nothing to be afraid of. But getting started on your first flip will also involve having the right resources. Since you're new, a great shortcut is to work with partners that have experience or capital or both. But you want to be really clear on what each of you is bringing to the table, what roles and responsibilities you're going to specifically have, and you need everything spelled out in writing to protect everyone legally. It's said the only ship that won't float is a partnership, so think long and hard on who you go into business with. And if it's a friend or family member, this is all even more critical, so the relationship is never affected. But beyond partners, you'll also build and work with a team of professionals. You'll need an attorney, a CPA, a real estate agent, a title company, an inspector, and in some cases, an engineer, a designer, and a project manager. And if you haven't built a strong network of great contractors that can get any job done right and at a good price, that's a quagmire you should certainly be fearful of, and why we often find a lot more wisdom in flipping as is rather than taking on an extensive rehab. But so much of how you approach real estate comes down to your knowledge. When you're new, hopefully you're excited, but you don't even know what you don't know. Real estate is not rocket science. It's in many ways very simple, but it's not easy. And it gets tremendously harder with a lot more you should be afraid of when you don't have education and training. So maybe you've watched a lot of videos, read a few books, and perhaps attended a seminar. How detailed is the information you're getting? And is it specific to your locale and the current real estate market? There's no shortage of information and gurus to be found, but many are sharing outdated techniques and they're not actively doing deals. Not to mention, once they have your money, they have little to no incentive to help you further. You should be confident you're gaining the right knowledge through proven training and techniques with a track record of success that you can rely on to guide you through deals from start to finish. You do not want to end up in no man's land where you know just enough to be dangerous and find yourself trapped in a deal that's costing you time and money, no end in sight, and no one to coach you through all the pain.
Got questions? Simply text the word FREEDOM to 305-315-8030 and we'll help you.
Many of us started out in the school of hard knocks, and I tell you, it's expensive and painful. For many, dreams and goals are summarily crushed, and real estate becomes a source of bad memories and unresolved debts. I was full-time in this business for nearly 5 years before I came across Phil and Freedom Mentor. And once I did, I accomplished more in 18 months than in the previous 8 years combined. If you want to compress time and avoid legal problems that can bankrupt you, get a mentor that will not only teach you, but has their interests and incentives aligned with yours, so they have vested interest in your success. And perhaps the most challenging thing new investors face when taking on their first flip, more than the fear of not having enough money, the right resources, or the required knowledge, is the fear of failure. But in real estate, when you align yourself with the right help, you put that fear into perspective and you start building towards success. Winston Churchill said that success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. And that's the mentality you need. You're always learning and improving towards your goals. Take in the hacks though. You want to find the most efficient way to get where you want to go, and you get that from those that have been there before you. But why is pursuing real estate even worthwhile? Well, we know real estate has created more millionaires than any other business. It's a proven vehicle to create wealth. But again, it's not easy. And if everyone was doing it from their yachts, there'd be no more opportunity. That's not how this works. Let's start with your why. Why would you want to pursue house flipping? Is it to make extra money? Do you love transforming properties? Are you just wanting to learn and additionally earn some money on that path to becoming a homeowner? For some, this is a side hustle to help them save for retirement or make the money they need to facilitate another passion. For others, real estate is their full-time career and what they're truly passionate about. No matter why you're wanting to pursue this business, real estate can open unlimited doors and it can no doubt change anyone's life. But you do need to find out what you're passionate about, what drives you, what will motivate you to overcome your fears and put in the hard work that building a real estate house flipping business will require. Anything worth achieving is going to be difficult. That's life. That's what makes any significant accomplishment worthwhile. Overcoming adversity, conquering fears, growing as a person, and reaching your goals. But that achievement requires a measured approach to get there. And rather than reinventing the wheel again, learn from those that have been down that road successfully before. If you want to learn how to find the right property, make the right offer, do the right diligence, secure the right funding, and profit with the right way to sell, check out How to Flip Houses as a Beginner.
Be sure to get your free copy of my best-selling book, How to Be a Real Estate Investor, and that comes with the audiobook version as well. Click the top corner.
When you have a clear why, you know what you're passionate about, and you'll have the drive to overcome your fears. Add in the right education and training, and you have a recipe for success. That's unfortunately what many people lack. They have a burning why, but they need a vehicle to move them towards success. And success is not the same for everyone. For some, it's a dollar figure, or driving a certain car, or owning a big enough house in the best neighborhood. For others, it's having the time to enjoy their family and spend time with their kids when they want to, not missing out on their childhood because your job owns you. What does success mean for you? Let me know in the comments. But it's important you know that real estate is not about overnight success. Even if you hit a home run at your first at bat and you make 6 figures on your very first deal. I've seen a number of investors do just that, and yet they can't reproduce the win. They didn't have to put in the hard work and learn all the fundamentals and develop their expertise in every necessary realm. And when their next deal doesn't go so easy, it doesn't make nearly as much, or maybe even it's a loss, they want to run back to certainty, and their fear puts them back in prison. Managing what's between your ears is so vitally important to your success. Make sure you're managing your mindset and that you're prepared for the hard work a worthwhile pursuit will take. If you take it step by step with the right team and guidance, you'll reach levels never thought possible. Check out this video on how to turn 10,000 into 100,000 with creative real estate investing. That's where we show you how some of our apprentices have consistently grown their businesses to achieve amazing success. You've heard it said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Are you doing the same thing day in and day out? Are you ready to make changes to get better results? Many of us resist change. It's uncomfortable. But without it, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. You're making no advance. And unfortunately, you're just going to keep getting exactly what you already got. So if you have a lot of certainty in life right now, but still aren't accomplishing what you want to in your financial life, pursuing creative real estate and house flipping may be exactly the change that you need. Well, if the fear of taking on your first house flip has held you back, hopefully this video has helped you realize that fear can be overcome with the right development of your mindset, the right pursuit of education and training, and the right guidance and support. And that's what we do at Freedom Mentor. We mentor and coach people into world-class house flipping professionals. If you want the very best in your corner, helping you every step of the way, apply to our apprentice program where our team will mentor, coach, and guide you to financial success. There's a link in the description and at the top. And again, if you have any questions for me, text FREEDOM to 305-315-8030 or comment below. And if you haven't read it, get your free copy of the best-selling book, How to Be a Real Estate Investor. I'm Brian Bush with FreedomMentor.com. If you gain more real estate wisdom through this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and let us know below how we can help you achieve freedom.